Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Expedition League 3.15. In this episode, we're going to be going over my step 3 of upgrading the build. I have all the upgrades outlined here, so what we're going to be going through today is we upgraded from the cold iron points to convoking ones. And so the base wand with +1 all spell skill gems and +1 all minion skill gems was 3.6x. I then had to do the, to be honest, on one of them, this one, I annulled trying to hit the prefix of spell damage so that I could open it up, but I don't recommend that unless it's really cheap and you can afford it, and it's like a 33% gamble. But basically I hit a suffix, and then I just used the multi-mod, the craft from the crafting bench to protect prefix. Prefixes cannot be changed. Suffix for 2x, then I annulled away the suffixes, and then I crafted multi-mod, so multiple, mods, yeah, so craft up to 3 mods for 2x, so another 2x, and then I crafted trigger, and then minion attack speed. Trigger socketed spell. In this wand I'm using this in these important, it's an important order, you have to have the gems in this order. Desecrate level 1-0. A 2020 flesh offering, and then convocation 2020. It does it in order of the gem link, so this is 1, 2, 3, and so it does desecrate, then flesh offering, then convocation. That's why we do it in that order. It's so when you come into a map fresh, you're gonna make a corpse, and then you're gonna blow it up on the next cast of the phase run. And you can also, as a side note, you can spam attacks, and it'll cast the abilities off of your attacks. It says when you use a skill, well, apparently your default attack is a skill, so just remember that. And then on the second wand, we went for the +2. I annulled, and I just crafted attack speed because I didn't need trigger, so I didn't spend the extra 2x on clearing away the suffixes, and another 2x to multi the item to get trigger, because I don't need double trigger. This was good enough for me. And then yeah, so total that was 7.2x, and then the multi-mod and the protect prefix, so that was another 4x, and then trigger attack speed, and so it was like 11x for both wands, so 5.5 each completely finished for what I did back then. So you can just add like 4x to your cost, possibly. Anyways, you could also spend another x or 2 just doing the harvest. There's a harvest mod to protect prefix, like to reroll keeping the prefix. It's called keeping prefixes, reforge, yeah. And then that's another way to do it instead of annulling the gamble. But annul was fun because I could hit the prefix, the spell damage, and I would be really happy with that. Now the next upgrade. So in our helmet, we went for a new helmet. I went for an item level 80. Stone Golem enchant for 40% increased damage on a bone helm, and then I used pristine fossils. It's 1 in 17 to get minion life 20, and the tier 3 tier 3 life, which is about 70, which you could craft, but I like doing these crafts. And so you could go for tier 3 life, and then this is like more like 50 or 60 to get tier 1 life. It's a lot higher, or maybe even 80 pristines. It's a lot more, where 17's not that bad for tier 3 life and perfect T1 minion life. You really want the T1 minion life. And then on this, I had an open prefix, and I crafted something, and then I used a harvest craft, and I reforged the suffixes by keeping the prefixes, the same thing I told you to do on the wands. It would cost me 1x, so that's what you could expect for the wands. And then this is 8% of phys damage. So I got stun and block recovery, but then I crafted a multi-mod, so 2x, and then I crafted phys damage from hits taken as fire damage, 8%, which is from, as you can see, Corel. That's a June Unveil. This is a June Unveil. The trigger is a June Unveil. The minion attack speed is a June Unveil. I forgot to mention that part. That's really important. I'm glad I remembered. Because I didn't have that in my notes. I forgot how you actually get the crafts. Yes, that's important. And then I multied Fire and Chaos, which is another June craft. It's suffixes. That's a suffix on armor and weapons, I think. And then the other one is 8% of phys from hits taken as fire on the helmet. That's a Helm June Unveil from Corel. And then I multied, yeah. So that was another 3x just on the multi. And I spent a bunch doing the fossil crafting because I went for T1 life. I was going for that because it's a really good helmet and I'm very happy with it. And then the next upgrade, I took out the frost wall from my cast when damage taken setup. So I have cast when damage taken, a mortal call. I did this because I was using I'll show you the mana cost, I'll explain the trigger now. So it does 13 mana, 38 mana, and 15. And it's every 4 seconds because we're phase running, and the phase run also costs 16 mana. And then the cast and damage taken, when it hits, it's using 50 mana. And so then I figured out that this Flesh Offering, 131, that's Desecrate, use like 30, right? Because it's 150% more mana cost on the thing. So from 13 with 150% more. And then you explode and you use all your mana on Flesh Offering. So if you get hit in the time that you use your Flesh Offering, you don't have the mana for a Mortal Call, and especially not Frostwall, because the way Frostwall was working, it was casting a billion times. It was actually casting a billion times because it has 3 charges, kind of like Flame Dash. And it already starts getting back the other charges once you start using them, even while you still have 2. So then Frostwall, it uses 21 mana with a 250 more multi on the fucking mana cost with a cast and damage taken setup. This increases the mana cost when you trigger the does it even say it here? Mana multiplier 250. And then, yeah, so 250 on the 21, it's another 50 times. Oh my god, it's so much mana. So basically, I took out Frostwall, and then it's for our trigger now, because this is always being activated. We don't have to press Flesh Offering, we don't have to press Desecrate, we don't have to press Convocation, just phase run now. Whee! And if you need to activate something for a boss, you could force it. And then start running, because your phase run will be off cooldown by the time you're done attacking, and then this will continue casting your shit and keep it up for the boss fight. It's just a small little min-max for how I set the character up, and that's why I do middle mouse button for the attack. And if you want to play keyboard, you can do W, but it's literally just left click and E. Anyways, next thing, got more. My mana flask or / corundum. I was using a corundum this whole time, but in the Skelly build I had a mana flask in this spot, and I switched the mana flask for the corundum, so I'm gonna just make it clear for people in case they were still using the mana flask. You don't need it, and especially the way we've set it up now with the trigger and the automation on the spells and the automation, so all the mana use is automated, and so we don't go over. So sometimes I told you when it Flesh Offerings into Immortal Call, it's weird. But I'll explain why our mana is this, and it used to be 180. We did something else. We got more damage. So then, yeah, so I changed the corundum to a Taste of Hate. And now to go over this Taste of Hate. So it has the first mod, 10 to 15% of physical damage from hits taken as cold damage during the Flask effect. I went for a perfect one, 15%. That's the only mod that matters, that can roll. That's the only one with a weighting. You see how the other one is like us doing damage? Who cares about that? We're minions. So 15% of phys taken as cold. It's kind of like the helmet having the 8% phys as cold. To explain this, we have the endurance charges, and those are 4% physical damage reduction. This is 8%, so it's like 2 of them, kind of, but it's not really because we only have 75 fire, so it's like 6%, right? Damage reduction from physical. Because we can put it against a res, and then the same thing would apply to this flask for the 15%. It'll go against cold, which is 75, so it's not exactly 15% damage reduction of fizz. It's only 75% of the 15. It's pretty cool. But then I used instilling orbs on this. Instilling orbs are these. This is how you automate your flask. I made a video on it. Adds an enchantment to a utility flask that will cause it to be used when certain conditions are met. I mentioned that there's like 15 different mods you can roll with the instilling orbs. So we went for use when charges reach full. I got this in 3 tries. I was very lucky. But you could expect to have to use 15 on average to get this if you're going for a specific one. And then you can expect maybe getting unlucky. So Yeah, it could cost you some. I don't know how much these cost anymore, but before they were almost like 1C. So, I don't know. But 15 of them to get it, and I have 63 extra still. So yeah, and then this flask is really cool because it also makes us take 20% less cold damage. So I told you we have 75, but then it actually makes us take 20% less on top of it, and it's a multiplier, so that's pretty fucking broken, honestly. This is crazy. This is I almost wish that well, I wish the Helm one was as cold instead of as fire, because technically our cold is better when this flask is on, which is why I was also thinking if we could run a ruby and a topaz in this build, because it would feel so fucking good, and you can automate it with cool stuff. So I was thinking about removing the quartz flask, putting like chill free the frozen thing on a different flask, like a ruby or a topaz, and yeah, that would be kind of cool. I'm not sure which one I would pick. I think in delving there's only like 2 damage types most of the time, like the big damage. You can do it with just 2, apparently, like main 2, fire and cold, I think. But yeah. Then I also, another thing, oh, and if you wanted to roll this flask yourself, because you could divine orb this, expect it to be a 1 in 6, and the divine orbs the last time I checked are 10C per, so this would be like 60C to roll it, so you could just add that to the price if you try to get a perfect one in a way, you know. Yep, I really like this flask. It's so fucking good, especially for our build where we really needed the physical damage reduction. Flasks are still strong, especially when you automate them. And then another thing is I was doing a lot of Awakeners. I've done 5 Awakener 8s, PogChamp. I've been getting some really cool loot, and I got a Corrupted Blood Primordial Harmony, so I don't have to take out another jewel to swap this in for Cyrus. Like, imagine swapping out a Harmony for a shit jewel just for Corrupted Blood. I'd rather just spend a little bit extra, and I got this upgrade, so now we don't have to swap it, and we're just Corrupted Blood immune all the time, which actually helps for more content than just Cyrus, but you usually only do it for Cyrus because we're softcore. Who cares? It doesn't come up as often, and we have a Blade Flask anyways, but yeah. I do use this every now and then, because I've been doing logbooks, and these are not split, so I actually have, hold up. I also have 39 beasts. Those are 39 maps, and then so I have actually 78 of those, yeah. On top of the extra like 6. I'm gonna run a bunch, but yeah. Oh, another swap I made is I was biking, and I was thinking about Ruthless, and I was like, wait, isn't it like 97%? And actually it's 98. And so basically this is like 33% more damage across 3 attacks, and it comes with a stun, right? And so technically I should have been using that over Mim. Mim's cool, don't get me wrong. I really like Mim, but this is only 29. The thing about this that's really cool is it makes it's consistent damage. It's 29 the whole time. Once they're maimed, which they get maimed immediately because there's 4 of them. It's pretty crazy how this works. But basically, this is 29% more because the increased physical damage taken is just additional. So it's 10 and 19, so 29%. And I like this because it wasn't on the 3rd hit. It was just initial. You could get 29% more, where this is only 33, so it's not even that big of a difference. They're both support gems. They're both like weaker than they were, and they're more utility than they are for pure damage, because we see that like 42, 42, 52. This one is they have utility. So the utility on this one with Maim is a slow. Maim slows the opponent by 30%, and then you can see how we have the maimed enemies get the 10% increase, which makes us do the more damage. So we get to 29, and then we have the 10% increased phys, which technically you could actually quality this up when it's in your main link, and I should have been using it. I've never used Maim in my main link before. I forgot about that. Increase phys. It's not that much because we have, let's say, 285 minion damage plus all the harmonies of damage, which is another like 80 or something. So of golem damage, we're probably at like 360. So another 10% is nice, but it's not massive. It would be nice though. I should have done that this whole time. But this one also has 10% increased, so it's the same thing. That's what I was trying to get at. And then my other thing, this can stun, so that's kind of cool. It can stop things that have slow attacks if they attack fast enough to get the stun off, and it's on the Ruthless blow. And then the way Ruthless works with Awaken Multi, so I think this is better for bosses because of that thing I said about the bigger hits deleting armor. This would be the better bosser setup, which we are at the point where we would like to just be a better bosser, more damage. I don't need the consistent white mob damage from maim. Probably we're probably good because you have to maim them first anyways too, so technically it's this is delayed, but then it will do a bigger hit which will definitely delete the armor, and then with Awaken Multi it's really cool because I think it's the whole repeat. Yep, so it's really cool. You could technically just get some RNG where you save up the Ruthless hit potentially. Because I don't think it says quick succession. So it might save like the last 2 hits, and then when it comes for the next pack, boom, or the boss. It will happen every now and then where you're gonna get it front loaded instead of back loaded. Like you won't have to load up the shots. It's just already there as the next one in the chamber. Anyways, so I got the corrupted blood jewel. Did all that. All these changes are so fucking sick. And now my plan, like I showed, is to do logbooks. I hope you guys enjoyed this upgrade, this step 3 of upgrading the budget build. It's so fucking sick. I should probably upgrade this chestplate. And man, I want life on a goddamn Ami. What is this? I could definitely do this. It's not that bad. Cause in logbooks, oh yeah, I wanted to mention this. I'm buying 82 plus. I'm going to make a logbook video specifically for this, but for now, I'll just give you... I'm buying 82 plus, and I have, like I told you, 83, and they're half an X per, basically. And so I have 40X in logbooks, basically, and beasts. And then we still have another, like, 8X, so that's really sick, and I'm really happy with how this is going. And yeah, I really like the upgrades and the changes to the build, and we still have much more to go. This is just the building. But for now, yeah, Ruthless switched for Mim. That was the last thing I wanted to mention. I've covered everything I've upgraded to the build and why I've done it. And obviously there's even more to come. You guys could already probably think of some. It's pretty cool. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And now I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon, my YouTube members who financially support the channel. Thank you guys so much for the support. And all my subs on Twitch. It's been really great support. I love you guys so much. And thank you to anyone new who joins today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!